Hi, I'm Annika Johnson from Al Johnson's in Sister Bay. I hope you enjoy my new video series called Door County Girl. These are stories of my life, the people and places that I love, and of course how we all survive here in northern Wisconsin. You can come back as often as you like, but don't forget to subscribe to Al's YouTube channel. I'll be posting lots of really cool new videos. So let's go. I love it. Hi everyone, welcome to another Door County Girl episode, and today it's a special treat. I almost feel like I'm here with Hans Christian, but maybe you might be more famous than Hans Christian. And anyways, I enjoyed his episode too. I'm here with Colin Welford, and he has so many things to talk about that I don't even know where to start. So I'm gonna kind of let Colin say where he's from, how he got to Door County, and I might jump in with some questions. But okay, Colin, that's fabulous.
It's nice and loud, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it.
Yes, really
and
fun.
You're gonna have to let people know where you came from. How did you get involved with the organ? Do you play other instruments? You know, you just tell your little story, and I love that. And I can always ask you a question.
Very good. Well, great to be here with you. I'm meeting you for the first time, which is kind of
I think
incredible.
I've seen you before, but I'm good with faces. But
Yeah,
I'm
probably
always...
toiling at the side of the road in North Ephraim, which I do
Probably
every day.
Yeah.
No, so we're actually in Ephraim Moravian Church right now, and that's where this rather large instrument is. And it's something I now play every week because I play here for the services, but I also practice here a great deal during the week and have a great time with this. So I spend much of my time playing the organ and the piano here, but also in my own place in North Ephraim, gardening and housekeeping and all that kind of stuff.
Do you have an organ at home too?
No, actually, I bought an organ for $1 from a convent.
$1?
Yeah, they were trying to get rid of it.
Oh.
And so it was an electronic organ, and they brought it up, and it sat in my garage for 3 years.
Oh, you didn't even use it?
I didn't use it. Eventually, I smashed it up with a friend with a sledgehammer.
Oh my
which
gosh.
was rather satisfying.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's out the way. So no, this is the only instrument I have. So I come here to the church to practice.
Okay.
But I first came to Door County in 2009, actually. So I've known Door County for a while. But it wasn't until 3 years ago that I discovered the church, or even rediscovered playing the organ, which was my primary instrument when I was a teenager. So,
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. A teenager that wants to play the organ?
well,
It's kind of unheard of.
actually, it sounds a bit nerdy and geeky, but nowadays it's rather in fashion. There's a big renaissance. There's lots of young, great players.
Do you hear that, young people?
Right. Everyone should play the organ.
Yes.
No, so I grew up learning classical music, piano and violin, viola, and percussion when I was a kid. And my parents attended a church and dragged us all along. There was a little organ at the church, and when I was about 10 or 11 years old, I was like, hang on a minute, the piano's loud, but that organ's louder.
Oh, you like the loud?
Oh yeah, the louder.
Okay.
Loud is good for a 10-year-old boy.
Yeah.
So I begged to be allowed on it. So
Okay.
against people's, they were very afraid I might break it. But I managed to get on the organ bench, and after that I was like, I need to learn this thing.
So who taught you?
Well, I was taught by a little old lady who lived down the road, the piano, since the age of about 4, I think. But there was a local teacher of the organ who was hired by the education committee. And so I started having weekly lessons with him at that local church of my family's, and ended up studying it more seriously at a music school from age 14 to 18. So I took the organ pretty seriously, and the piano kind of got sidelined to some extent.
Okay.
And So I played the organ into my early 20s, but then ended up as a conductor, got interested in orchestral music and conducting. And at some point, the organ disappeared from my life because conducting was
Did you
the
miss
main
it?
thing. I forgot about it, strangely enough, because the orchestra was even more exciting.
Yeah, something new and different. And then
Yeah, and I was beginning of my career, just doing as many things as possible. So it was 28 years, oh dear, it was 28 years that I didn't play the organ until I found this organ at Ephraim Moravian. Then I kind of remembered, oh, hang on a minute, it's my instrument.
Oh my gosh.
So I relearned.
Well, I'm going to stop you right there. So you became a conductor.
That's right, yeah.
So what were you conducting? Because I've heard some good stories from Bill. So,
I
can't understand what he's doing here in Door County. He's a worldly man.
Oh, I'm having fun. I love it here. I'm not
yeah.
leaving anytime soon. But I started off conducting choral conducting, so choirs, because at school I'd sung a lot and sung in choirs. And actually the first time I came to the States, which was 1986, I came with the National Youth Choir of Great Britain.
So you sing as well?
Well, I did. Not now.
Okay.
No way. So we came to LA and we went to Tijuana on a kind of cultural concert exchange. We went to Hawaii. We went to the World's Fair in Vancouver. All the things that make America great. And I thought, oh, this is what America's like.
Wow.
Hawaii. But it was through singing that I became interested in conducting, and started conducting choirs when I was at university. I conducted, choirs at Oxford University. And after that, I woke up one morning, I think I was about 19 years old, and said, hang on a minute, I can conduct choirs, so why not orchestra? And after my eyes were open to that, I started looking for orchestras and ended up conducting the opera and several of the big orchestras at Oxford. And that got me on the path of conducting. So then I conducted opera and ballet in London, English National Ballet, and eventually ended up moving to musical theatre over time. So conducting Broadway shows and shows in the West End in London.
Yes, name a couple of the Broadway shows, because I'm blown away.
Yeah, so it's really quite fun. I don't know quite how it happened.
Hamilton, Lion King.
Yeah, so Wicked, Hamilton, Lion King, Billy Elliot, and then I worked on productions of Cats, Les Miserables, Sunset Boulevard, Whistle Down the Wind, things like that in London as well. So
wow.
Yeah, I've had a great ride. And,
You're all over the place. I love it.
Yeah.
This is great.
But the nice thing for me is after doing all these kind of things and living in big cities, now I'm in Door County and it's an entirely different lifestyle.
In a good way or a
No,
bad
very
way?
good way. And I'm still able to be very creative and artistic, but for a completely different purpose.
Do you miss all the excitement?
And I don't think I miss it. I mean, of course it's exciting and it is lots of fun, but I did it for so long. I know what it feels like.
You needed a change, like you just needed something different.
Ready for a change.
Yeah.
Like
when you were playing another instrument, you hit the organ, and then it was the organ, and then it was, then you forget about the organ, I'm going to go conduct, and then I'm going to go try Door County now.
You can only do so many things at once. That's the thing. I mean, have you ever seen the movie Sliding Doors?
No.
It's Gwyneth Paltrow, and she goes into a subway station, and a train comes along, and she gets in the train, and she moves off down the platform. But at the same time, she stayed on the platform. So from then on, she's got two stories.
Oh.
And that would be really good in life.
That sounds good.
You could have two existences, and you could do all of it.
Oh, that's
But in real life, you got to pick.
Okay.
So
now you're in Door County, and you came here to the Moravian Church first?
No, actually, I was here at least a year living in Ephraim. And I made friends with my next door neighbors. My place is Green Gables in North Ephraim, and my next door neighbors are the Unitarian Universalist Church.
Yeah.
I made friends with them, and I was playing occasionally for their Sunday morning meetings. And as a result of that, I met Pastor Dawn Volpe, who's the pastor here at Ephraim Moravian, because she was a guest speaker there. And
Pastor Volpe's son did, at my son's funeral, he played the piano, and it was fabulous.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yes, so I made a connection with this church because of just this one random occasion at the UU. And I think at the time, the organist here, Jendine Olson, was ready to retire. And so Dawn says, does he play the organ? And so before we knew it, they give me a church key, and I was like, oh, I remember this instrument.
Oh my gosh.
So I've been here ever since, and it started just playing the services.
So how many years have you been here doing this now?
I think it's going on for 3, actually.
3, okay.
And it started just with me playing the services, but before you know it, I was like, okay, what can I do now? And started playing a bigger repertoire and started doing little concerts, which...
I heard about the little concerts. I heard people have to be turned away.
Well, just occasionally.
Because you have to get here early to get a seat because there's so many seats.
That's a nice problem to have.
Yeah, it is a nice problem, but people probably can hear you outside because it's nice and loud.
It's funny that, because I do practice in the middle of the night. So, I mean, sometimes I'm here like till 4 or 5 in the morning, and I wondered who I'm disturbing.
Oh, I bet people sit outside the windows going, wow, I get to sit here and listen to some great music.
Maybe the deer or
Yeah.
the rabbits.
Yeah.
No, apparently the sound travels about 10 feet outside the building, but beyond that, it's okay. So,
Oh, you're safe. You're
so
safe.
I can play in the middle of the night, which is good.
Okay, so for 3 years, and now you're doing concerts. I heard you even do concerts not just alone, but you do with other people?
Yes, so the concerts I began here were just me playing organ music, basically. But that quickly expanded to inviting other professional musicians in, and also local musicians, people that audience know and are familiar with. But now we generally have 1 or 2 guests on every concert, and our concerts are almost every month. We do a really wide range of music. It's not always the music that I know or is really my specialty area, but we try to, present music which is interesting to everyone. Last month we had a fun time because we invited Cora Carriere, who's a high school flute player from Gibraltar School. And so she came.
Oh, wow.
As time goes on, I think we'll get more and more diverse.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the organ, but it's my love.
Yes,
the organ.
when you have a concert like that, do you have to get together ahead of time so you can practice a little bit together, and then you have the concert?
Yes, certainly. I mean, a lot of it, I do a lot of big organ music because it's my personal outlet.
Right.
But yes, I collaborate with the musicians and we set the program.
How long does it take for you two to mesh together to get a little...
It really depends. It depends who the person is. Some people I have long relationships with musically, often in Chicago or New York. So it doesn't take us that long to connect, but of course we've learned the music independently. And sometimes it may be music we've known for years.
Right.
And of course we have to practice as
Sure.
we do almost every day of our
Yeah.
lives. So it depends.
Wow.
It's fun. And I spend an enormous amount of time practicing. It's not hard work because I love it.
I know you were just sitting in here playing before. I'm like, wow, he just can come in here
Yeah.
anytime he wants and play the organ. That's so cool.
I guess it's like somebody who knits.
Yeah.
You sit and knit.
Or go
kind
read a
of-
book, but you're going to go play the organ.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's fun. Sometimes it's a bit frustrating. But if you want to make the sweater or the cardigan, you've got to put in the hours, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
so
going to hear it.
it's fun.
Want to play something?
Well, I've got music everywhere because I come in and practice this and that and the other, but I don't have anything to perform, but I can give you a little taste of something. All right, what about some Bach? He's the most famous
I love it.
organ composer. I gotta wear my glasses because everything in my body's falling apart.
Oh, tell me
Eyes
about
first.
Hearing aids, glasses.
Yeah, right, that's the way it goes, isn't it? Let's see what happens. Actually, this is something I'm mid-practicing for the next concert, which is May the 19th. So I'm going to play some Bach. So I'm midway.
So I have to get here May 18th and camp out by the door in my lawn chair so I can see the concert.
At least 40,
Bill will be with me.
24 hours in advance. All right, let's see. room there.
I
So
love it.
Got a few more hours of practice in that one, that's for sure.
To me, it's mind-boggling how you can have 2, 3 different keyboards here and you just know what to do.
Yeah, it's
And all these buttons.
yeah, the buttons are great. I mean,
To me, it looks like you're a pilot right now.
Yeah, it is like being a pilot because I think you use as much brain power as probably flying a spaceship, but the stakes are far lower.
And then to
which is
use
a
the
good thing.
pedals as well.
Yeah, I think it's like any skill, any physical skill. Some of it becomes second nature, so you can't consciously think about it.
Right.
Some of it you just practice enough that the left hand does what the left hand does.
Okay.
And you can just trust.
Sure.
It's gonna do
Sure
it.
it does. I'm like, okay.
The interesting thing is
I get
actually-
what you're saying, but
Yeah.
yeah, to me it's like mind-boggling.
Yeah, there's a lot to look at, and interestingly, we did a short session with some of the third graders from Gibraltar School this year, and what we learned was that the organ, much more than the piano actually, is very interesting to them because there is so much of this visual engagement. It's like, whoa, look at all those buttons and
Oh
lights and
yeah,
stuff.
they're
It's-
interested.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny. So I'm not even sure it's the sound, although it is very dramatic, which
Yeah.
kids love. But it is that kind of octopoid.
When you play
playing.
something for the kids, do you have to play them something kid-like, or can you play them
No.
Bach and they'll love it?
I think the drama of it and the fact that it's music which they probably haven't heard, maybe
Right.
in their whole lifetime.
Right, yeah.
It's quite exciting for them. I mean, I don't do a whole recital or bore them with a 10-minute piece, but yeah, I think kids are quite amazed with it, and I actually want to do a session for kids who are really music centric,
Sure.
to introduce individual kids to the organ,
Yeah.
so they can have some fun and understand
Yeah.
how the machinery of it works.
Has anyone ever come up to you to ask you for lessons?
Funnily enough, no. I feel like he's good, but he's not that good.
Really?
But there
You would
have
think that
been-
people were like, hey, Colin, I'm wondering,
Well, Yeah, well, maybe, that is certainly something I want to do for adults living here who play the piano already.
Because they can flow into this
Yeah,
easier.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a bit too much of a machine to start
Yes.
to learn from scratch.
You got to learn the piano first.
I feel it's a lot
Yeah.
more natural.
Yep.
Yeah, because of course you are doing the same things as
Okay.
you play with the piano. You just got more to think about. So I hope to see some adults move from piano to playing a bit of organ too. I think that would be really fun.
Okay.
Plus it allows me on a Sunday, I can
Yeah.
take more time off and go and play at other
Oh,
places.
yeah, exactly. Hey, so that was my next question. Do you play in other venues, and how do you play if you don't have an organ?
Yes, well,
Can't take this one with you.
I've tried. I think it weighs about 400 pounds.
Uh-huh.
It's not going anywhere.
You have to go somewhere where they already have an organ.
Yes, I mean, I play at a number of other churches up here, and I, take time off here, or I, manage to schedule those in as well. So I play at all the Stella Maris churches, for instance, and at the UU a little bit, and Church of the Atonement in Fish Creek.
Have you ever played that giant organ up on the top of the Ellison Bay Hill?
Yes, at Shepherd of the Bay, that's
Yeah.
lovely. So they have a real pipe organ,
Yeah.
whereas this is a digital organ. They have a beautiful looking and sounding pipe organ. So
Yeah.
I actually hope we can do a concert there before too long.
Oh, that would be
So
awesome,
That would
too.
be nice.
Yeah.
So so other places I play the piano and accompany singers or instrumentalists. And in the future, I hope to just occasionally do a concert where I don't play at all. And other musicians who bring their own thing to the table.
You can just
perform.
sit and enjoy too.
Yeah, I could say, oh, missed a bit there. You
Yeah,
know,
you
like-
can just boss people around.
yeah, I like the idea.
Go get that.
I'm not,
Yeah.
not sure it's ever going to happen.
I love it.
Yeah, so I play at different places, and I think I'm interested in lots of different kinds of music. So it's not all about the organ.
Sure.
Although it's my primary instrument. So
Yeah.
I'm enjoying that.
Okay, so my other question is, we're going to step away from the organ for 2 seconds. You're doing all kinds of things. We were just chatting before we had this interview, and you own the Green Gables. I remember a long time ago, Mill Road Cafe was in there, and there was Northern Sky Theater had ticket booth there. I mean, this is a while ago. So, but it's changed so much. And the dog place,
Yes.
I've been watching them renovate that forever.
It's done, it's finished.
Right, and you were going to open up a restaurant there, Bill
Yes,
said.
I had all kinds of plans. And many,
Okay, well then COVID happened, according to my friend Bill. Bill's our editor, by the way. He does all the filming and everything. So Bill said that you were going to open a restaurant, but COVID happened, and it wasn't good timing, and that was not a great idea then.
Yeah,
and I do not blame you.
I think I dodged a bullet with that.
Yes,
because,
coming from a restaurant owner, that was a wise decision.
you know, I love food.
Yes.
So having my own personal restaurant sounded like a really good idea.
You can always go to all these other
Yeah,
yummy places
I
and
think you're
stuff
right.
your face, because like I do. So now you have that place that was going to be the log home. Now there's a couple Airbnbs in there. They can rent some of the places. But you're also going to open up a tea garden. And he gardens and he bakes things.
Well, I personally will more be the food tester than the food baker.
Okay.
I'll be the quality control.
You're just going to make sure it's not poisonous,
You know,
like
it's
I
very
do.
important. It's
yeah.
very important.
Make sure it tastes good.
But what I am into is the creation of the garden. There's a really quite, a fabulous space at the back of the property, which you can't see from the road. And with the help of a local expert, Tom Wolf, a horticulturist,
Yep.
We've developed this quite beautiful fantasy-type garden with meandering paths and little corners and a beautiful collection of trees and plants. So I'm hoping that next year we'll be ready for that.
And so you
to
have a
be-
commercial kitchen back there.
It's a simple kitchen, kind of a plating
But
kitchen,
workable.
warming kitchen. Workable, and we can serve food and drink
Yep,
there.
yep.
So that's
Well, like in
coming
Sweden,
soon.
we have fika, but now we can have high tea. Because are you originally from England?
Yes.
Because you have an accent.
Yes,
It comes and goes.
It comes up when I'm angry, so be warned. When I'm angry, it's like, oh, shut up, you, sit down.
Yeah.
But in normal, everyday language,
Yeah.
it's not so strong.
You're not going to get your pudding if you don't eat your meat.
Putting gruel.
I grew up.
Yes, that's right. So I go home to visit my mother and my mom, and my sisters and nieces and nephews at least once a year.
Okay.
And within 24 hours of arriving, my accent has changed entirely.
They probably think it's weird to hear you
Oh, it's
speak when
awful.
you're, yeah.
It's awful. Yes, but it changes to a Manchester accent just naturally. And the second I get back, somehow it disappears. It's kind of an odd
Does
thing.
your family come here to visit you?
I made a rash promise to my sisters and brothers and nieces and nephews. Oh, you can all come.
Yeah.
But now I realize I don't have enough places for them to stay.
Uh-oh.
And it costs a fortune.
Well, now
for
you
them
have
to
that
get
little
here.
Airbnb. You stick them in there.
When I have 10 Airbnbs, maybe then.
There you go.
Right now I just have
Reserve
4.
them now. Yeah.
Yeah, so actually my parents came in 2010 maybe.
How do they like it here?
They loved it, and
Yeah.
it was great. And this was before I owned anywhere. I just had made friends, so
Mm-hmm.
they visited my friends and they got a sense of the place. But I wasn't thinking of living here at that time.
Okay.
So I think my mom probably won't travel that far now, but at least she's seen it,
Oh,
so
she probably
she's got
misses
an idea.
you.
Probably. She expresses it in strange ways. But,
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. So one day I think my family will come. Lots of kids, and this is a great place for kids. So-
Yeah, that would be
so
fun.
they'll come.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the meantime, I'm developing this garden. I would like it to be finished so I can show them the fruits of my labors.
Well, if you need any help, I
sign
have
you up.
2 best friends that are,
Excellent.
and myself, we all 3 love to garden. We don't usually do it as a business, but we love gardening. So if we can weed and we can take care of things when you can't, call
You
us
see,
up.
you understand that gardening's primarily about weeding. I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
thought it was
weeding,
just about planting
yeah.
pretty things.
I always say when
huge.
people have beautiful gardens, I asked Kenny Church and Candy Church had Sister Bay Automotive
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
ripped it down, but she always had the most gorgeous garden in the front. And then she goes, yeah, I can't garden. I just have my planters come in and plant it. I just water it.
Well, that's the best thing I ever did here. I put in an irrigation system 2 years ago. Oh my goodness, it was a life changer because I was watering. I've got about 200 trees we planted.
Yeah.
I was watering almost 5 hours a day.
Just
by
watering
hand.
because it's been dry.
It was just awful.
I know. It didn't used to be dry up here. It used to be rain. It would rain almost every other day. And now it's like everybody
Yeah.
better get hoses and start watering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the irrigation was great.
Yeah.
Now the rabbits and the deer, I'm up to here
That's
with that.
another. You need a dog. A couple dogs.
I had a not a mongoose. What is it?
A
One of those-
mongoose.
It wasn't a mongoose. One of those little stoats or an otter or a mink.
mink.
A mink.
Yeah.
It was great with the rabbits. I love
Oh
it.
yeah, the mink like to eat those rabbits
Yeah, it was
up.
fantastic.
Yes, or a couple
I need
hawks.
a
Yeah.
pet mink is what
Yeah,
I need.
you need a pet mink.
Mink on a string.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of gardening.
Oh my God, he's a busy man.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it's really good fun. I mean, I love the gardening because it's creative. It's just like, playing music. It gives you the same kind of satisfaction.
Okay, so when you open up your garden, you're going to have a little concert back there so we can come back and listen to you play music under the stars or whatever, yeah.
The problem with open air music is, I mean, you can bring a keyboard outdoors, but most instrumentalists don't want to bring their instruments, especially string players, violins, guitars, you name
outside.
it, because of the sun and drying out and cracking the thing. So that's a bit problematic.
See, I don't know these things. This is crazy, yeah.
That's the kind of thing we have to work through. Just now and again, I like the idea of no music.
Yeah.
In January this year, I went to England, but I went on the ship, the Queen Mary.
Oh.
Cunard. It was very posh. Very cheap, actually. It was great.
Yeah.
All the food you can eat, of course. But the best thing about it was there was no background music.
It was nice and quiet.
It was silent, and you just don't know what that is these
peaceful.
days. 9 days of almost silence. Apart from meal times, then it's everyone's stuff in their faces.
Clank, 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 clank.
Yes.
Ching!
Yeah, so getting away from music for me is quite appealing, and the garden being a place of peace.
Yeah,
at
you
least
can
on
escape
paper.
from this to that and then escape from that to this.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's quite fun.
Do you want to play some more?
Well, I can play. Yeah, I could. The fun thing about this organ is
I'm getting a mini concert in.
not exactly,
Yeah.
but the fun thing about this instrument is, of course, it's in a church and it's a church instrument, but there's a few tricks up its sleeve, and you can kind of fake being a theater organ, and just now and again I do that. Let me put my glasses on. I'm always losing them. Let's see. It's like we go to the movies. It's ridiculous. Of course, I don't do this during communion on a Sunday.
Yeah, that's so
That would be my last day in the job.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, it's silly. I think that's part of the fun of the instrument is why I do end up being here at 4 o'clock in the morning. I know I should have gone home to bed.
Yeah, but you're goofing around.
It's a game.
That's so cool. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, we're out of time, which I could sit here and listen to you play all afternoon because I'm finding peaceful spots. We went to a different church before too, and it was all quiet and nice in there. Yeah. But what can you tell people about your concerts? When do you play? When can they hear you? Do you advertise? How do they find out about it?
Yes, well, the concert series is called, it's very egotistical, I think, it's called Colin and Friends Concerts.
Okay.
It's a 501c3 organization, and this is our first year of being that 501c3, but we've actually been doing concerts now for 2.5 years.
So that means they're free concerts, but people, you got to give some
Yes.
donations because otherwise they can't do things like this.
Yeah, that's always great. So the concerts are absolutely free to attend, and that's very important because we want people who don't know this kind of music or couldn't afford to, go to posher concerts, can come and hear it. And also, I kind of headline the concerts, and it's a lot of laughs usually, and a lot of audience participation. It's just very casual.
You're a jolly guy.
It is.
Yeah, you would not be boring.
No, it's not boring. And we usually perform about once a month. Generally here, but this year we're going to start performing in different places because we want to meet new people. Yeah. And we're very grateful for this space, but we're not tied to the church. So we look forward to going to other places. We're building a website. It will be colinandfriendsconcerts.org.
Okay.
And we already have a Facebook page which announces all the concerts. That's Colin and Friends Concerts. So there's lots of ways to find out about us. You could even call the church, they would know.
Okay, sounds
But,
good.
yeah, once a month, and we usually do 2 concerts because, of course, we do fill up. So we actually, in the unique position, we have to do 2 back-to-back
You have
performances.
to do more.
Yeah,
yes.
it's great.
That's
great.
good. That's a good problem to have.
It's wonderful, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. So the next one's May the 19th, and then we'll be here on June 14th and 15th, which is Fearball weekend in Ephraim.
And what time do they start?
Generally, 2 o'clock and 4:30.
Okay.
It's generally Sundays, but there's exceptions
Okay.
depending on whatever. So I hope you will be
I
here.
would love to come to
Yes.
one. I know that. I don't think I'll skip the Fearball one, but I'll come on the earlier one.
Yes. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh my gosh, thanks for doing the interview. This was fabulous.
pleasure.
I love it. So don't forget to like and subscribe at the bottom of the page, and you can meet more very interesting people like Colin, so he can tell you more about organs and Door County life and why people move here. It's a great place to live.
It is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
You too. I'll play you
Bye,
out.
everyone. He's going to play us out.
Why not? Okay. Here we go.
Thanks for watching Door County Girl. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next time.